Check it out. You're watching Kyle POV's YouTube channel. What's going on, everyone? Today we're back to working on the Miata, and we have all the parts in. So we're doing a fuel filter, wires, new coil, air filter, plugs, new injector O-rings. I went and got the injectors flow tested and cleaned up. They were right within their 10% range, but I think we got a few more cc's out of them. I believe they were like 230 cc and they were flowing at like 190 on the initial hit, and then we got it back up. So today we're going to focus on putting the fuel filter in, plugs, wires, coil, and just seeing if we can get this car to run. Again, if you remember from last video, the car sat for roughly 10 years. It did run in the last video, but it ran for about 10 seconds and then shut itself off. This is an OBD1 car, so we are going to have to, if it doesn't stay running, jump the pins and try to see if there's any codes. But again, car sat for 10 years, has a new battery, so there's no code stored. Car isn't running long enough to store codes. So if there is any other underlying issues, we won't know until we do all this. All right, first thing we're going to get started with here is getting these plug wires out. Oh, well, look at that. Huh. Did not mean for that to happen. Holy moly. Some tight little boogers on here. Probably gonna have to get some pliers, y'all. This is not going the way that I'd like so far. I know the coil is coming out also. I just want to get these out the way. Look at that, just breaking off. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. So there's one, there's two, here's the new ones. Bam. There should be. Bolt right up into there. Not sure what that stud is for, because this one, who knows. Let's get these connectors out the way here. Times it sucks having big hands. We have located a 12 millimeter here. Might have loosened it up enough. Oh yeah. Again, having big hands sucks for this stuff, but we're making do. So Google says 0.40 to 0.44 on the gap for standard, which often come pre-gap to 0.44. So we'll just kind of check it. So this goes 40, 44, 45, 50. So we'll try the 40 for now. A little loose there. Oh yeah. There we go. This one is gapped to 44. Again, like I said, they come pre-gapped most of the time. It's just not bad to check it every now and again. Make sure that it's right and correct. You don't want to have it blowing too hot or too cold and causing issues. So I'm just going to hand tighten all these for the start, and then I'll kind of go back through and give them a little crank down. Just don't want to strip any threads out. She's pretty tight. Grab another one here. Again, should come pre-gapped. Go to 44. Boom. That one's right between 40 and 44. No big deal. They'll run. Drop that one in. Grab the other two. Quick check. Here's 44. A little tight. Here's 40. That one's more set to like 40. 44. So yeah, right there on within spec. Right where I wanted it to be. So we'll drop those in. Get them all hand started. Give them a little crank down with the ratchet. And then we will move on to the wires. Hook up all the sensors that I unhooked. And then from there, we'll go to the injectors. Again, we got all new. We're reusing the injectors that came with the car. Got them flow tested, got them cleaned. And we are putting new seals on every single one. Shout out to Rock Auto for having everything you need in stock. All new assortments. Keep going here on these. Pretty good. Last one for the hand tighten. Hand's getting tired. Okay. Boom. Don't need to go crazy on tightening them. Don't want to strip them out. So a little quarter turn. Boom. Double check them. Boom. Great. So now we have new coil, new plugs. Let's get the wires. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. It's tough tape. So you can definitely see the difference in links, so should be fairly easy to tell which one goes to what, but now there's two ways to go about putting those back on. If you paid attention to how it came off, then you will know. But if you don't, another thing you can do is, where's it at on this one? Right there in the front. So we know it, if you're holding it this way, it goes 1, 'Let's go ahead and wrap 4 under, because 4 goes here. 2 goes here. We'll sneak you this way. And there is 3. So again, you could Google your diagram if you need to. This one was pretty much straightforward. Here we go. And just like that, we have new plug wires. We have new spark plugs. We have a new coil. Clean up our mess here real quick. Just gonna kind of throw everything in here to the coil box. I mean the wire box. We'll get it cleaned up later properly. So now we can get started on doing the injectors. Look at that. My boy Anthony did these for me. Package each one up and everything. What a sweetie. So we will go and get it all done here. So we're going to be replacing these O-rings. Three gaskets go on your injector. The other one goes in the head. Pretty easy to identify what's what here. So before we slide you on, just kind of match them back up. Boom. Gets a new O-ring there. Now this one took the cap with it, so let's get the, there we go. Try not to damage that piece of plastic underneath because it is the only one I have. Put that back on. Slide you on. Boom. Just like that, we have a new injector with new seals, new O-rings. And then this last one will go in the head. And again, this is number 1. And just for reference, the way that I did it was, if you look at this, there's the headlights. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, back to front. So this was in 1's position. We now have all 4 injectors, new wires, new plugs, new coil. The last thing to do up here is tidy it all up, put those hoses back on, put all the injectors back on, put all the bolts back in, they're up there, get the PCV valve back in across, all the little sensors plugged in. And then from there, as you can see, the old fuel filters right there. In that box up there is the new fuel filter, and then there's the new air filter. We're also going to put that in. But to get my mess cleaned up, take all the old plastic and throw it in the bin. Just move this one off the car too, just cause. These purchases were from Rock Auto. Here's the new magnets. I don't believe we have these ones on this fridge yet. Let's take a gander. I've been collecting Rock Auto magnets for years now. There's a few on this side. Couple freaking of the same ones. Dang, there's 4 of them. I didn't even notice. There's 1 on the front, 3 on the side. Well, I got all kinds. I'm gonna slap these. Oh, slap these bad boys right there. They're a new home for now. Got a new key I'm going to be programming soon for the wife. This is for the Explorer. Since this thing's just deciding it wants to stay in here more and more. This side's all done. We're just waiting on a bolt for the driver's side because it got seized. I don't know if you can see under. Probably not, but there's a shock down there that I cut it off at the other end. All right, back to this. Went on a little side mission. So now we got all the injectors in. All we gotta do now is line up the seals and sensors here. Let's get you out the way. This part should be fairly easy if everything cooperates. Sorry about that. I had to go on a little side mission. Dropped a little O-rings here. Gaskets, whatever you want to call these. These just sit right here in the head. A little bushing between. Okay. All those are back in. Now to get the bolts and kind of slowly but surely notch them back into place. These are 12s, and since I just got it right here, I'll just go back to using this. Right now, just kind of getting them started. So we can just make sure everything sits the way it needs. Last thing we need is some spraying out injectors. I will say it won't be my first time. Definitely won't be the last time, I'm sure. Oh yeah, we're getting there now. Sorry if this camera angle's messed up. I don't have a camera crew. Doing this all on my own. I literally have a GoPro strapped to my chest now. My Insta360 died. So now I have my GoPro. Maybe one day I can get a film crew up in here and have help. So they can be standing to my left, kind of showing you how this is done. But for the time being, this is what we got and this is what we use. Appreciate everyone that is watching. It's made it this far. I don't really have much to say at this moment. Just being new to this stuff, I need to learn how to talk to you guys while I work on things. But I've always kind of just had a mentality of when I'm working, just get it done. So I usually just go and then show the completed process. But now you guys get to kind of see where my eyeballs are and how I'm doing it. So all those are facing up pretty nice. Beautiful. So now you can see all 4 injectors are in. Looks nice and oh. We have some split O-rings. Oh no. 2 of them split. 3 of them split. What the? Well, I guess well, I don't have a fuel filter hooked up. So for now, I'm gonna double check those. I'm gonna move on just because I just spotted those. I'm gonna do the air filter. Then we'll jack it up to the fuel filter and then we'll come back to the front. I want to make sure those don't leak, but I also don't want to put everything back together and then we got leaking O-rings. So give me a minute, we will move on and we'll go from there. Get the mass air sensor out of the way. Make room for this new air filter. I believe I have some injector cleaner and carb cleaner over there. Might take a moment to clean this mass air just to give it some cleanliness after sitting. Put the air filter bolts to the side. Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely sat for a while. Wow, actually, that is... Either this thing's been replaced before, or this thing's literally factory out of this car from '94. That would be insane if that's the case. But we have a new Bosch to replace it, so... Out with the old, in with the new. Upon literally upon taking the air filter out, there's some, I don't know what that was. Was that a caterpillar? Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna vacuum that out though. That's gross. Just like that, all the, get you some light. Just like that, all the crusty stuff is gone, cleaned up. Nice and neat. All right. Get the new air filter in. Let's throw her back on exactly how she is. So mind you guys, there were only 3 screws in this when I took it out. So it's only getting 3 back in her. Hopefully, after I get this thing all tidied up here, we can take it down the road. And granted, the tires are really, really bad. And I don't know how the brakes are. Tags are more than likely expired by a long time. So we are going to be very casual. But I want to see if she's going to, you know, hiccup or die or whatever it's going to do. Hell, we might not even make it down the road. She might not even make it out the driveway. She might not even make it out the garage. We're going to find out together, though, that's for sure. Okay. Again, plugs are in. Plugs are in, coils on, wires are in, fuel injectors are in. Some injector O-ring split. Don't know what's going on there. Those packages, who knows how old they are. But I'm gonna switch my camera over to a tripod so I can get on the ground and do the fuel filter. I'll be back. In the last video, when I jacked this Miata up, I didn't have a jack stand, so I just raw dogged it with the jack. That Explorer was holding both sets of jack stands. I went to Harbor Freight this morning. Bought a new set of 6 tons because you never know. But then I also got these new 3-ton purples, and check these things out real quick. If you're not familiar with these things, look at that color. Beautiful. If the camera does justice, it's very sparkly. Excited for these things. This Miata is going to be the first one to use them, so let's find out where we want to put it. Because we got this jack in a weird spot. Okay, let's go up higher. Don't come after me anymore. We are on a jack stand. All right. So there's the line. One's hanging down, one's up. Oh, didn't even notice that ground wire right there. We need to check that and make sure we don't forget it. One of the other lines the other day, wherever she may, oh, there she is up in there in the corner. You can't see it probably. I blocked it off to keep fuel from coming out. So now let's grab the new fuel filter, get under this thing and put it in. We have a nice new Bosch we're putting on this today. A lot of Bosch parts for this here Miata. Okay. I'm gonna kind of put it close to where she already was. And there's nothing on the back side aside for that bolt. And yes, I got my safety squints on. We're getting there. Nice, nice. Got some metal shavings on me, but that'll be all right. So this bolt I'm using has a washer built onto it. And on the other side, oh, there it is. So we're going to stick this bolt through the back. We'll put you in the front. Oh, she might not be getting a washer in the front. Cool. So that is going to work. Honestly, I might go find a longer bolt to get some more threads, and then I'm gonna grab a wire wheel to clean it up. I just wanted to double check that it would work. So we got that on. 2 down, and I'll be back again. All right, so I found a longer bolt here we're gonna use, and I am gonna put a spacer on the back side just cause. She might be too shallow. I guess we'll see. Yep. Hanging on by literally half a bolt here. I'll be back again. I'm gonna grab a 10 mil longer one or a ratchet wrench or something to help tighten that up some more. All right, that ground's back on. So now we should be able to move this back into place. Wow, sometimes you have to take this out all the way to get it to pop in. Wow. If you don't own one of these utility knives, a Milwaukee fastback with the screwdriver attachment, you're missing out. Because I would have just had to get up again. No, I don't have to. Oops. I don't remember. I don't think there's any more of those plastic clips. That, huh. Yeah, I don't even think that she's gonna hold anymore anyways. So there's that ground fixed. Frame's cleaned up. Get these little pieces out of under here. And now we can take our way, get the car down, go to the front, turn the key, check for fuel leaks. Okay, now we have everything hooked up. Fuel filter's done. All the hoses are tight, all that's tight, everything's hooked back up. I didn't really want to do this until I tested it for sure, but oh well. Get some fuel through her, or we have no fuel pump. Yeah, I'm starting to think this fuel pump just gave out. I mean, again, the car sat forever, so I wouldn't be surprised. So it's got a cap on it. Ew, I don't like that. See how much I cranked on that? Crazy. She's tight now. I don't like this positive being so high up though. And I'm gonna see if I can get it to go lower. Yeah, if not, it is what it is. So, fun fact, my jump pack got stolen the other week. So I currently have no jump pack. And if this battery just died, I'm gonna have to probably put a battery tender on it. But let's try it again. I thought I just heard the... Is that the fuel pump? I feel like I'm hearing a noise now. So we have no leaks that I'm seeing. Everything is hooked back up. Literally everything's hooked up. Huh. Well, the only thing we could really do is check the fuel pump now. I'm not hearing any fuel coming though. This buzzing is really, really loud. Just to be safe. I think I am gonna go Just check some fuses and whatnot. Not saying anything did happen, but you also never know. No, it's good, the relay. On the other hand though, I don't know. Alright, well, we have hooked everything up. Back to how it was. Everything's tight, everything's snug. New fuel filter's in. But now I'm not hearing the fuel pump. I'll be honest, I never really listened to it before. But I'm definitely not hearing it now. So, I think what we're going to do next is move on to the fuel pump and see if we can find voltage. Alright guys, we're back out here for day 2 of trying to get this thing started. So you're going to see a switch from yesterday's video to today's video. So I'm just going to kind of give a little background of to where I'm at today to where I let off yesterday. So I have 3 children and a wife that is currently in school for nursing and then works. So sometimes I get pulled off of projects in the middle of them to go be a dad or whatever it is I have to do. So yesterday I was in the middle of getting the car to start. So I put new plugs, wires, coils, air filter, and fuel filter on this thing yesterday. The car still would not run without needing some extra assistance. So one thing I did is I jumpered the FP, which is the fuel pump, and then the ground from inside of this. So when you jump that, it caused the fuel pump to kick on and you could hear it screaming. I went and did some testing yesterday on it, and during my testing, if you had the fuel pump and ground jump to make the relay click, it was sending power and allowing fuel to hit the rail, but it was not enough to keep it running. I had it at one point, I was able to give it some throttle, and it actually revved up, but it was very hesitant, and then it dropped down and it kept dying. So to just get a better head state, I stopped yesterday and I started fresh today. So this morning I came out here and we got the fuel pump out. So what I did is I got a tester out with no jumpers attached. This is just a regular 6 to 12 volt tester, lighted. So with no jumper attached at the relay under the dash or to the diagnosis up front, I could get the blue and red here when you go to ground. I could have the blue and red when you go to ground light, saying that you're getting your 12 volts from your relay and everything. And then I jumped it to, actually you go to ground, I'm sorry, you go blue and red right here with this probed in, and then on the other end, since you're doing power, and I made a little jumper here just because I don't have a long enough lead. I did take the battery out to charge it, but I took this lead here, put it on the ground of the battery, which is the negative. When I did that and you turned the key and was cranking, you had power. Now when you switched it over to positive and you moved the probe to the negative, when you would crank it, so when you probed it and no crank, you had a bright light, but when you cranked it, the light was very dim. That led to say it could be a grounding issue of the fuel pump. Yesterday, and you'll see in the video previously, I did find a broken ground wire underneath the frame of this car, and that does run up to the battery. So I fixed that, and you shouldn't think that'd be a problem. But after going over all the diagnosis and going back and forth, when you jump this with the key off, just the key over and you jump this, you can hear it clicking. You can hear the relay click under there, and then you can hear the fuel pump. When you crank the key, because I honestly didn't know this until I looked it up, these Miatas on a normal car like OBD2 and newer, so like 95 to 96 and up, when you turn your key over, the fuel pump will prime automatically to send pressure to your rail. This car primes as you're cranking. So it's kind of hard to hear when you're cranking it, but it could have had a weak fuel pump and that's why you were having trouble hearing it. But with all the carpet and everything off, I could hear it a lot better. I took a 5-gallon bucket. This thing did have a full tank the other day. I took a 5-gallon bucket here. I took that hose. This is your fuel return line, and the one underneath is your fuel feed to the engine. So I'll pop that off, put a hose on there, filled this up once. I did make a little bit of a mess this morning, and if you can kind of see the outline where the fuel was. So with no jumper hooked up, no anything done, just that unhooked and cranking the car, it was pumping fuel into this bucket. So I'm starting to suspect that this car has a bad fuel pump. So I went out of the way this morning and we got the old pump off. Now, still some old fuel leaking out of it. Man, it just smells old. And some signs that you can tell it's sat for a while. You have this right here is the usual sign of when the fuel starts to separate and then you get water in there, just sediment build up. I think there's proper terms to it, but that's what that is. So I got a new fuel pump on it. Unfortunately, we do not have another sock. And if you look at this sock here, it definitely has had some dirt in it right there. That sand or whatever you want to call that could very well be causing this thing to get clogged. This pump could have some internal failures too. Or it could just be weak. I mean, it's a Delphi. Is that factory? It's hard telling. Maybe it was put in before, who knows? But I can tell you that fuel does not smell good. So what we're gonna do next, I have to wait on a new sock. I went and got that pump from AutoZone. AutoZone didn't have a sock. Supposedly no universals or anything, so they vendor direct parted it, which it should be here tomorrow. Today is Thursday. Thursday, May 5th, 7th, right? Jeez, Pete's. Yeah, Thursday, May 7th is what today is. They told me I should have that sock tomorrow, Friday, around 2 or sooner. So the next steps, I'm pretty confident in my troubleshooting. I got a Noid light, I put a circuit tester, and I even have a continuity tester if I need to use it. I just went to Harbor Freight this morning, got some cheap ones. I'm going to buy an actual kit, but they didn't have it in stock. But this is obviously very well good enough to use too. So next steps are going to be get the sock on, put the fuel pump in, put new fuel in, and see if she runs. If she doesn't run after that, then I'm going to assume, based off of how that ground was dimming down when we were cranking the car, I want to say that there could still be a ground issue. So it's supplying power to the pump, but it could be losing its power. The contacts inside the relay could very well be a problem too. But when you have a car that's sat for 10 years and has dirty fuel and all that in it, it's hard to just keep jumping around and blaming other sensors or connectors or wires or relays for problems. I think the easiest step with all the research I've done and how I'm seeing it all work is just put a new fuel pump, new sock, and new fuel, and we'll see how it starts. So you're going to see me jump around in this video. I started Wednesday installing all the new parts and couldn't get it to start. Today is Thursday. I got partially started, got the old pump out, the old fuel out, and I am ready to put the new pump in when I get the new sock. So this is going to be an extensive video over the next few days, but you'll see it as one part. And hopefully, I'm saying this now, hopefully I'm speaking into the future, we see this car running together tomorrow. So I'm going to stop this video here. Again, I'm at every point that I can get to. Battery's charging because I keep cranking away and it ain't starting. I've already diagnosed everything I can. I followed ground from here back underneath the car to the front of the car and it looked fine except for that one that was broken under there. I skimmed over all the other grounds in the area. That pump was able to start pumping fuel out. And yesterday, when I had these lines unhooked and was cranking it with that jumper, is the only time I got fuel to come out. But this morning, I was able to get fuel to come out with no jumper and just off the car running itself. But it was so weak, it still wouldn't start. So I'm just going to suspect that that fuel pump and that sock are the culprits here. And that after I put that new fuel pump in with a new sock and new fuel, because that bucket stinks. The fuel in it was, I know fuel has yellowness to it, but this fuel had more of a darker yellow. You definitely can't tell, definitely in a red bucket, but yeah, that just don't even smell like good fuel. It smells like varnish and just gross. So wait for the next part of this video. It'll obviously just transition right over, but that's going to conduct this portion of the video, and when we are ready, you will see the next part on here. We are on day 3 of working on this Miata. Pumps on, socks on. She's ready to drop back in the tank. I believe that this should fix the problem. So I'll be honest with you guys. Since I have pulled this filter, the pump out, I have not checked in this tank. There is some pretty gross, thick stuff. That little tray, underneath that tray, into the corner. So actually what I'm going to do is try to get the rest of this fuel out of here and try to clean that out so we don't have to deal with it. I want a clean tank, so let's see what I can do. So my handy dandy vacuum pump or transfer pump, vacuum, got the rest of the fuel out. And then if we come inside the car, definitely, oh, let me flip my light. Definitely a lot cleaner. A lot of the sediment's gone. Some of that's just sitting on the bottom, but all the big thick stuff's out for the most part. So what we're gonna do now is drop the new pump in. I got about 5 gallons of fuel I'm gonna put in here. Just test it. I know you're not supposed to use blue, but it says 87, and then I got that can. Both are 5 gallons, both are full. One's pretty much for my mower, the other one I'm gonna use for this car. So yeah, let's get the new fuel pump in, get the old fuel out the way, get the new fuel in, prime it up, and see if she'll start. Alright, we now have full 5 gallons in the Miata. I just hooked the battery back up because I had it unhooked charging the other day. So battery's in, fuel's in, pump is in. All there's left to do is, I think, start her up or try. Let's just walk back up here and double check. I got the fuel lines back on yesterday. I was draining the fuel out of the tank from here the other day, and then I just transfer pumped the rest. So all right, moment of truth, or moments, because it's probably going to take it a second. So let's see what happens. Okay, almost instant. All right. So far we have a steady idle. Belt squeal's gone. She's idling. I believe the oil was changed, but we are sitting at about 75 pounds of oil pressure, which is great. So you know the engine's good. Slowly starting to go up on the gauge. Really need to make sure that goes up. But again, there's only 5 gallons. I don't know if it's going to be slow or not. We'll come back and check on it, but car's idling. Let's give it some gas. Instant throttle response. Oh yeah. Well, after countless hours of checking wires and voltages and this and that, probably just a waste of time, but I still wanted to confirm it. This car is idling. This car is running. We're gonna let it run for a few minutes, see if she turns off here. Valve's probably screaming for some oil. They ain't been raining forever. Lifters, I mean. But look at that. So what started off as a non-running car when it came into my shop here, my office here, is now a running Miata. I'm loving the smoothness. I'm loving the idle. Let her get some heat through her because she ain't been ran in a while. Yeah, crazy. I appreciate everyone that has followed me along this journey. I'm very excited that I was able to record this, show you guys me getting this car running and showing you what I can do. Now the next steps are trying to convince this customer, because he's a good guy, I like him, to let me put new tires, potentially do his brake system, shocks, whatever he needs. But the main concern was getting this car running, and now that I got it running for him, maybe I can sweet talk him into doing a little bit more work here. But you may need some valve lash done or something in the future. Look at that, beautiful. Alrighty, fuel gauge is going up. Again, there should be about I could Google it, but it should be about a 10-gallon tank. She is slowly moving up, but cleaned out tank, cleaned out all the fuel, new pump, new strainer, new sock, whatever you want to call it. And she's good to go. Again, I know I just said this, but I'm gonna say it again. Thank you to everyone who has followed this journey, who has watched me take this car from not running, that sat for years and was able to figure it out. I'm very impressed, very excited. Now to get this done, get it out, I am going to throw this in there just as a little side. As I've been waiting on parts for this thing, I've been slowly working on this, and this thing has kicked my ass. I got a new control arm on it today, how to put this bolt in the opposite way because it didn't want to go in the other way. But in the middle of doing this, I stripped out my tie rod here, and I had to go pick up a new tie rod. So this bad boy is about to get another new tie rod. Just got one last year, but hopefully this is out of the garage here in the next day or two. Get this out here in the next day. Yeah, she's sounding good. Let me check that oil pressure again. Yeah, she's holding oil pressure. Probably just needs the valve lash checked or something. Maybe over time as you drive it, it might clear it up some more. Who knows? It could be gummed up or whatever from sitting, but stay tuned for the next video. This may be the last part. I have to talk to the customer and see what he wants to do, but there may be a part 3 to this. There may not be, but stay tuned for the next one. I have more content ready to come at you guys. I'm excited to see where I can take this. Thank you for following, and stay tuned.